Hi, I'm Dexter.
And I'm Julia.
And we're Riley TCG.
And today we're going to be commenting over our practice matches with Yerpo versus Red Green Law.
So I'm going first with Red Green Law, and I'm playing an Otama. A weak start, I'd rather see a searcher or a blocker.
My turn one is usually just draw and pass. There's not much to be done there.
And so I'm swinging 5, and it's a Missile Sunday trigger.
Yeah. Missile Sunday pays for itself with the leader ability, so it's pretty good.
So you don't lose a Dawn like you would typically. And here I'm whiffing the Dawn and putting a blocker law to the bottom. Not the best first search.
Right now, what I really wanted to see was a Jack out of that top deck, but I couldn't find one because I really wanted to ramp. So I'm just going to play the blocker Sanji, because blockers are always good against Law. I am life starving, so that's why I don't swing.
And life starving is one of the reasons that I'm having a weaker hand right now. I don't really have any good bodies to shambles into after I shambles into that one blocker law. And I don't have many cards to put aggression on, which is primarily what you want to do in this matchup. Just swing 5 as much as possible so you can whittle down their hand and not allow them to play their big bodies.
Yeah, I really want to get to the late game, and Law has so much pressure to put on.
So here I'm just swinging 7. And
I choose to counter out of that just because I didn't want to go to 2 lives yet, and I thought it was valid to still keep the blocker. So right now I'm just going to play an All Sunday. This time I'm going to get her full effect because it's not from trigger. So I ramp a Dawn and I draw because I have more than 6 Dawn on my field. I do not have a Yamato in hand, which is what I really wanted to see. So let's see how we're going to work that out.
And I top deck a Zoro here, which is good because off of that Nami, I bottom decked a Zoro and a Luffy.
So right now he's just doing as many 5s as possible, and I'm just trying to counter out of all of them.
And I'm able to swing with both of these Dodons because I'm just going to put them back in my hand so I don't lose any value off of those Missile Sundays that are on board. Because those Missile Sundays aren't going to be swinging at my life, I really don't want to be giving them characters to swing into a bunch. Except for this one Zoro because I'm just trying to put as much pressure as possible.
But then my blocker Sanji goes into action, and now I'm just going to try to farm that Sanji because I am playing a big body this turn. Not that Sanji, that Zoro. So I'm just going 5 at Zoro.
And I'm just going to take it so that she's not able to get any sort of extra value off of the card.
I was planning on swinging more, but since he already let it die, I'm just going to play Katakuri and put that same All Sunday back in life because I still need to dig more cards in my deck.
And a really strong card against Red Green Law that she has is that Color Trap.
Color Trap is great. Rests 4 or less. Very useful in the Law matchup, in the Rebecca matchup.
Luckily, because she's doing it on my turn, I'm potentially able to offset the effects with shambles. So I'm just continuing to put as much pressure as possible.
Right now I'm going to use the Color Trap, the Dawn Go minus, because I already used Croc's effect with the All Sunday that got played. And then I get to rest Otama.
And resting Otama here gets value because I would like to be shambling the Nami back into my hand, but this forces me to shambles Otama instead.
Yeah, and if he doesn't shamble Otama, it's great for me to remove Otama.
And I felt safe swinging with my blocker law here because if she had Yamato, she would have played it on her previous turn, and that's the only play that is going to really punish me here.
Then he's going to swing 7, 8. 8, I could not counter out, but then he gives me exactly the card I wanted to see that turn. Would love to see it.
So now she's able to completely swing the board back in her favor because she's going to be able to go back up to 2 life, remove Law, swing 8 at the rested Law, and swing 3 5s at the rested Zoro. So in the end, based on the fact that she did get the Yamato, swinging with the Law was definitely a mistake on the last turn because now I just have no big bodies to work with.
You did take both of the lives that I gave you there. I swung twice. I'm like, once I establish 2 bodies, I'm kind of okay with stopping the life starvation. But Dexter's still not seeing the green cards he needs to see.
I have a good amount of counter and blockers, so I'm going to be able to just keep surviving and hoping that I top deck something effective to swing with, and I can keep putting small amounts of pressure swinging with my weenie characters. And having the starter deck Nami helps a lot with that. It's like having the Luffy leader ability.
Yeah. He reduces my all Sundays and swings at it. I don't feel like it's worth protecting that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get value wherever I can. So if she were to defend that, then it's just easy 3 swings for me. So this forces me to at least swing 5.
Mm-hmm. Right now I'm back with my 2 big bodies. I was considering going for game here, but I imagined that he had a lot of counter just because he had so many cards in hand. So I'm just going to do a little board control a little bit. Just dip my toes, check what I can do, what I can't. I get the Frankie being out of his hand, which is great. And now he has to cover a 9. He can block with Beige. He can take the life.
I take the life because I'm safe behind blockers in this matchup for the most part. The only thing that can kind of punish that is 9 cost Kaido, but there aren't any unblockable effects or anything like that, or excessive blocker removal.
Mm-hmm. So I play Croc just because I want to filter my hand a little bit. My hand has a lot of non-counter, a lot of big bodies. So Croc's going to start working. It also puts me at 2 life, which gets me way safer than at 1 life.
Yeah, 8 cost Crocodile is just a consistent hand cycle that's really powerful for this deck that gets so much value off of 1 cost events.
Mm-hmm. So good. So right now you have 2 Chopper in hand, a blocker Beige on the field.
Yeah, so I have enough blockers to survive at least 1 more turn.
But can you put enough pressure?
No. So I don't have anything to swing with other than Nami. If I could have split between 2 5 attacks, I could have gotten one of those Blast Breath out of hand, but instead I'm just forced to put everything in swing 9 with Nami.
Yep. So right now I'm just debating again if I'm gonna go for game. He has 2 blockers and a life. So I'm just thinking, is it even worth it? So I'm just gonna first test, like with the characters I have. I'm not gonna attach Dawn.
And I'm countering out of that swing because I'm not sure if that's gonna be her lowest swing of the turn, because if she just attaches Dawn to everything, 8 could potentially be her weakest swing. And I want to just survive 1 more turn, hope to do maybe a rush character plus a restand law. That seems like my best out here, but I don't really have an out based on the fact that she has 2 Blast Breath in hand.
Then I just play Croc, give myself another life. Just by the size of his board, I know he's not swinging more than 2 times. And I still have 2 Blessed Breaths in hand.
And there's no way that I'm surviving into the next turn. So here I'm just trying to push for the last 2 lives in whatever way is best. I couldn't just go with leader because I didn't have a good second swing there. And here I'm going to go for a very interesting play. I see my best opportunity to take the remaining cards out of her hand is a double Beige swing.
And then he's only going to have 1 blocker up. There's that Chopper that is a little fleshed out by the light. Then he does an 8.
And that's an easy Blast Breath counter. She knows the most I can swing next turn is another 8. So she just forces me into swinging for game here.
And I still have the Blast Breaths. It goes back because I haven't used anything yet. Then I go to 9.
And the game is over here. I ask for her to allow me to scoop, but she says, no, taste this dick.
Then it's my turn that I'm going to fuck him up. There was absolutely no need for me to drop that Kaido to get on the chopper, but I just wanted to do it. I was holding that Kaido for so long. And then
that's the game.
Yep. This is game 2. I really like my hand. I see the Jack. I see the All Sunday. All I need to find is big bodies now.
And my hand is significantly better than last game as well. I get to start out with the Searcher. I'm choosing a Chopper over a Luffy here because my goal is just to be able to use Shambles as quickly as possible. And so I just want to fill up my board with little bodies. And I feel confident that I'll be able to get more big bodies with the Bonnie I have in hand.
And then I am able to play Jack. I trash all Sunday because no counter. I get 1 up.
And here I'm going to start off by swinging 7 in hopes of playing around Color Trap, so she has to commit 2 cards.
And I really should have done it even if it was a 7. I just chickened out.
And then here I establish my 2 blockers. I leave 1 space on the board for me to play Bonnie next turn before I shambles it back to hand.
I'm gonna play another ramp right now on All Sunday. All Sunday is giving me back the card that Jack trashed essentially. And then I'm going to be able... right now I only have Kaido in hand, which is not great. Let's see if I can find another big body.
Because you already have an optimal curve, you're on 7 Dawns on your 3rd turn, so next turn you'll be able to play 9 costs. You would hope to be able to play Yamato there, but right now you just have Kaido.
Yeah.
And here I'm choosing to get Zoro, just because then I have a good target to use Blocker Law's effect into, and I can swing 5 as much as possible.
Exactly. I really needed to see a Yamato this turn to start getting things going, like removing that Blocker Law would be great, and gaining the 1 life.
And here I'm playing Zoro and swinging with it. Just swinging for 6 to force a 2k, but she takes a life.
Yeah, I took the life because I was looking for cards, to be honest. I was hoping one of them would be a Yamato, but it just wasn't. Then I'm going to use the Collar Trap that's been in my hand for a while, plus a 2k to put me at 8, so I can actually KO that Nami, because that Nami is helping you a lot.
Yeah, and so if you had used the Color Trap last turn, then I would have gotten 1 less Dawn worth of value on this turn.
And I should have just... I wasn't sure about playing Kaido, that's why I swung before playing it. Because then you got value out of that too. I was too much of a chicken this game. I was too worried about not having the big bodies. I don't like playing Kaido because I'm on 9. I'm going to do -5. So next turn I'm on 6 Dawn, which is not great.
And that means that I'm also feeling a lot more comfortable to establish bodies on my board because I know she's not going to be able to just Yamato remove them. So I get a Zoro off of the Searcher, so that's amazing. I just get to apply more pressure. More pressure cards is going to give me more value. And here I'm just playing Bonnie, hoping for a Blocker Law, but a Hawkins is pretty nice too, because it's able to play around potential blocker triggers that Purple Yellow Croc can have. And so I'm just swinging 5 with Zoro and 5 with my leader, slowly picking cards out of her hand.
Gonna get a trigger that ramps me a Dawn that I really needed.
And then I'm just going to play another Zoro, swing again, and then finish off my turn with a Shambles.
Then I give my leader a 1k boost, so my leader is a 6 this turn. Which kind of plays around picking up Law, a Zoro playing Law, and playing Zoro again. But that was not what I was going to do anyway, so. I drew a Thunder Bagua, which is pretty solid. Then I get rid of the Bonnie. But at this point, I don't think you were particularly worried about it.
Yeah, I was comfortable leaving Bonnie sideways on this turn because I knew I was just going to swing 3 times with Hawkins and finish the game. So I wasn't worried about allowing her to swing into that at that point. And now, because she didn't swing in my life on the previous turn, I know that this turn I'm safe to just be as aggressive as possible because I'm not going to be losing on my subsequent turn.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy to see Nami here because then it's able to generate free value on my board into my Shambles.
Kills Jack.
I'm just swinging at Jack to get free value off of Hawkins' effect. Playing Nami, using Nami's effect to attach the Dawn to Hawkins, and then I'm just going to put all of my Dawn on Hawkins. I know I'm safe next turn, and I'm just going to want to swing twice for as much as possible. And so I swing for 12 here. And so then 12 again, but that happens to be counterable by double blast breath. So Julia's able to get one more turn.
Yeah, which is not going to make that much of a difference because, again, I have 2 minus dawn to do both blast breaths. Playing the Kaido really hurts early game.
And there's not really a way for Purple Yellow to reestablish at this point. And there's not a way to take all of my life on this turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't even have 10 dawn right now. So I'm just trying to swing at Hawkins as much as I can. Because I know that if I swing at life, he's just going to take it. So this turn I play Croc. Do dawn -2. Give myself a life. And I have only 2 cards in hand, so I still think there's not much I can do there. I really needed to see a bigger body sooner.
Yep, so now I'm just able to swing with Hawkins and swing with Restand Law, and she's not going to be able to counter out of both of those.
I can only counter out of one of them.
And so I do my first swing at Kaido just to get an extra card out of her hand, and then Hawkins restands himself, one more swing at life, and swing 5 just to get 1 card. Didn't need to do that, put everything on Restand Law, and that's the end of the second game.
Woo!
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. It was really fun.
Let us know your thoughts on the video, and we'll see you soon.